Alrighty, everybody. Hello, hello. My name is Sean Cacaro alongside Vinny Mascol. The band is back together. We were out for a few weeks, but we are back. All is well. Got a lot to talk about today in this MLB edition of S&V Sports. But first and foremost, Vinny, how are you doing today?
Oh, very good, very good. A lot of stuff to talk about since we've been gone.
Oh,
Definitely,
yes.
definitely a lot of stuff going on.
So that's why we're going to do baseball first. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but spring training's almost over already. Can you believe that?
That is
It's
crazy. That is nuts. I mean,
flying by.
we've already had
Yeah,
regular
regular season's
season
technically
games.
already
So,
here. So actually, let's talk about that first, since you bring it up. Um,
yeah.
just a couple days ago, as the time of recording, recording on a Sunday night. Um, it's funny because I'm watching them right now too. Dodgers Padres 2 game set out in Seoul, South Korea. We
Yeah.
saw them split the series. Lots to talk about. So let's talk about game one first. And in game one, we saw the Dodgers take the victory from the Padres. Keep in mind too, these two teams split home games technically. The Padres were the home team the first game. Dodgers take that one 5-2. Hudson takes the win. Johnny Brito takes the loss.
Johnny
Phillips gets the
Burrito, we
save.
know him all too well.
Yes, we do as Yankee fans. What was your initial takeaways from opening? I don't know. Should we say opening night or opening morning? Because on the East Coast here, it started at 6 a.m.
Yeah, it was definitely opening morning for us, but
It worked out perfect for me because I went to work at 10
yeah,
o'clock. So I was
yeah.
able to watch the whole game before I went to work.
I mean, I guess you can't. I mean, technically they're still in spring training mode. I mean, I mean, you gotta think. I mean, what was it? March 20th they played. I think it was.
Yes. Yes, I got
So
the box
technically
score up.
they pitchers weren't able to go you know
Well, it was a
too
tough
long.
outing.
I know
Darvish only
Darvish
went
only went 3 and 2/3. But his 72 pitches in 3 and 2/3 innings, that's a
he didn't give
lot.
up a run. That's the crazy part. Or
He
did he? Oh
didn't.
yeah, he did, but
He
there were no earned runs.
he did, yeah, he did, but there wasn't an earned run. But Glasnow had a rough start too. But he got through 77 pitches in five.
Which is more what
Um,
you'd hope for, being
yeah,
that they are still, again, as you said, technically in the middle of spring training,
yeah,
having
and
these 2 games out in Korea.
I don't know, if you're gonna. I mean, granted, it was 2-1 after four, and then they went like 3 innings, both teams without scoring, and then the Dodgers just kind of poured it on a little bit
hmm
towards the end there against Peralta and Brito, and Peralta again. He was one of the guys that we had too. Although Peralta only gave up one earned, but still,
But the
um,
offenses look good. We look at Shohei Otani in his debut, two for
yeah,
five. We're gonna talk about the Otani stuff later. Don't
yeah.
worry.
Otani 2 for
Um,
5. Yep,
Mookie
yep,
Betts 2 for 4. He had a solid night over there. So the
yep.
offenses were definitely click. The offense was definitely clicking for the Dodgers. Now we moved to game two of this 2 game set. I don't even know if we want to talk pitching.
I was a football
15
game
to
broke out.
11.
Yeah,
Yamamoto
Yamamoto looked terrible.
Yamamoto, 1 inning, gave up 5 runs. Is it panic time for the Dodgers? I would say no. It's one start. I know a lot of people were upset. I heard Dodger fans out. I was actually listening to ESPN LA after the game, and Dodger fans are losing their minds. It's his first start.
Yeah.
It's very different from the NPB. The ball is different. Everything is different. What do you think? I think Dodger fans are overreacting here.
So I look at the top of the Padre order, 9 of 17, one home run, 10 RBI. That's Bogarts, Tatis Jr., Cronenworth, and Machado. So you're looking at like their main, as you know, and Betts, Otani, Freeman, and Will Smith did well too. I mean,
Yeah.
um, it was the pitching was terrible. I mean,
Yes.
Musgrove didn't pitch
Both
well.
sides. Both sides.
Yamamoto didn't pitch well. The bullpen. I mean,
Michael
Michael
King, the
King,
winning pitcher, has an
three
8.10
earned
ERA.
runs, and yeah, well, when you give up 3 earned runs in 3 and a third, I
Yeah.
mean, and you got bailed out at the end of that game pretty much too.
Well, one thing
Um,
I think we do
Three in the
forget.
ninth for San Diego.
The one thing we do forget is San Diego went up 9-2 at one point. They almost gave this game away. The Dodgers were not backing down after the Padres put up 4 in the third. Dodgers
Hmm.
Dodgers came right back with 4 more. So the Dodgers definitely did not make it easy. And you look at these teams combined for 33 total hits.
Yeah.
So if you're the pitching coaches, this was absolute worst nightmare for both sides.
I think the bullpen of the Dodgers is going to be the Achilles of that team.
Hmm.
Yuki Matsui is going to be good for the Padres. I think eventually he goes and takes over for Suarez by the end of the season. I think Yuki Matsui is going to be pretty darn good.
I agree.
But I think right now they're not. I don't think either team's really looking at roles right now.
Yeah.
I think they're
It's
just
still
kind of.
early. I
It's
mean, they're
still
back playing
early.
spring training literally
Right.
again
I
as
mean,
I'm watching.
unless you're like an Emmanuel Clase or
Hmm.
a guy that's a closer. I don't think a lot of teams may have their closers. I mean, you know, the Boston has one. You know, the Yankees, whereas
They
whether we like
technically
it or
have one.
not, they do. But a lot of these teams don't have closers yet, and they're kind of like going to mix and match in the beginning of the season anyway.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what the Dodgers and Padres are doing. The mixing and matching did not work very well in this game. So um, I think Michael King will be fine. And I think, both these teams will be fine. But to see all those runs scored,
Yeah.
man, that kind of,
I truly think it might just be more of a case of the offenses are still ahead of the pitching in this
yeah.
case. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to factor in jet lag, definitely had something to do with it. I mean, technically, they're playing at 3 a.m. local time if you're
Yeah.
considering the California time. So
Yeah.
it's definitely
Exactly.
not easy on the players. I know they had a couple days to prepare. They were playing some exhibition games against the
It
Korean
was
national team and a couple of
hey,
other
it was a
local
Tyler
teams.
Wade. There was a Tyler Wade sighting. He went 2 for 3.
Yes,
So,
he did.
he was representing the Yankees pretty well there.
Yeah.
He did
Again,
he
so
did
was
really
Michael
well.
King. He
And
got the
Michael
win
King too.
even
So
with giving up 3 runs.
yeah,
So,
Michael King too. So
but
we'll see.
overall, it was a fun series. You saw them split.
Definitely.
It wasn't a dominant series on either side. It was good rivalry baseball.
Nope.
And we are hearing some rumors that privately, and again, as allegedly, the Dodgers and the Cubs were informed they're going to be opening up in Tokyo next year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'd heard that
that
too.
could be
I'd heard that
interesting,
too. Another
especially,
one.
especially, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to just pretty much segue this right into our next topic. If Shohei may or may not be around for that series. Why do I
Yeah.
say that? We have a bit of a scandal, and it involves
Is it
Shohei
really a scandal?
Ohtani's interpreter or his translator, whatever we're going to call him.
Yeah.
Do you know how to pronounce his name? I'm just going to say
I
his
do not know.
translator.
I won't even try. I won't even try.
So, long story short, and you could correct me if I'm wrong because there's a lot to unpack here. You all pretty much know what's happening. Shohei's interpreter has been gambling. Supposedly, there's tons of rumors that Shohei may be involved, possibly giving him money to pay off his gambling debts. Because remember, some gambling, sports betting in California is illegal. I
Right.
actually did not realize that at first, so that's why I was very thrown off when this all first came out. Um, as of recording, tomorrow will be the day Shohei Ohtani will speak with the media. What is just your overall take on everything that's happening?
Um I guess who's investigating? I mean, I'd like to
MLB
know who's
is,
investigating it. I
and
mean,
the
I,
IRS.
well, okay, so
It's
that
been taken to legal.
yeah. Um I mean, so I can't imagine what the conversation was like. The guy going up to Shohei going, "Look, man, I'm $500,000 in the hole. I
I
need you to cover
think it'd
me."
be more than that. I've heard 4.5 million.
Yeah, well, it probably was. But you got to remember it's legal in a lot of places to gamble, but California,
California, it's not.
unfortunately, you cannot do that. The fact that he didn't bet on baseball, better not have. Because
And they haven't said yet.
if Shohei knew about
Yeah.
that and didn't say anything, then
Hmm.
the
That
fact
could
that
be.
he knew and didn't say anything, I mean, we all want to make sure we cover up our friends and not rat them out, but you're a bit above everything else.
Yeah.
I think you have to make the first move. If I'm Shohei,
Hmm.
I'm going, you know what? I'm not going to give you the money right now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell everybody, and you're going to have to go down for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see how we work it out afterwards. But I would not have given him the money in which it
If
kind of
this
seems
is
like it
true,
was in secret. Right.
and that's the thing, I want to know, how did the translator have access to his money to be even spend it in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, he's a
There's
translator
something
and a
fishy
good
about this.
friend. I mean, he's a good
And
friend of his.
yeah,
I understand that. They've been friends
but
for years, I
and
guess.
that's the thing. How did it take them this long to notice that? Oh, there's a couple $1 million missing from my bank
Hmm.
account. I mean,
Hmm.
Shohei's not making a lot of money right now. Like
I don't. The way I think it would happen is that I don't think anybody was actually watching his money. Honestly, to tell you the truth,
I, I
I don't. I think that he was kind of so trustworthy of everybody that
mhm.
I don't think it really crossed his mind, and I
I
don't think he
disagree.
had really.
I I truly something just seems off about all this. And if Shohei really does have involvement in this,
Yeah.
that's detrimental for baseball because it puts baseball in a situation where now, if you don't suspend him,
Right.
you're gonna irritate a lot of people, the Pete
Well.
Rose defenders, and there's a lot of them, myself included.
Yeah.
And if you if you don't do something, that's who you're going to irritate. Now, if
Right.
you do something, it's fair play, but MLB fans are still going to be upset because this is the biggest name in baseball. As much as
Right.
me and you may not want to admit it,
Right.
Otani is the biggest name in baseball. And if
Oh yeah, he
he
is.
goes down for this is going to be
He
a
is.
horrible look for
I,
baseball.
I mean, I think I think we're asking too much of a guy who gave the Houston Astros full immunity
Hmm.
because they admitted what they did.
Yeah.
I think we're asking too much of a commissioner who called the World Series trophy a piece of tin.
Yeah.
I think we're asking too much of a commissioner that basically did really, I mean, other than higher ups got suspended, but I didn't see one player get suspended at all
You're
from
right.
that whole thing. So, and and, and they admitted they cheated.
Yeah.
So that to me, I'm not expecting a lot from Rob. I call him Scamfred,
Yeah.
and I will keep calling him that till he's retired, when he retires next year or whenever he's planning on retiring. I know he's planning on leaving
Hmm.
soon. But I just I don't expect much, and the fact that he's leaving,
Yeah.
is another thing. But I mean, yeah, maybe something should happen to Shohei.
If
But
there
they
is
have to get all the
involvement,
facts. But they
that's
have
the
to get
thing.
all the facts, and they don't have all the facts yet that he
Yeah.
was even involved. A lot of the stuff is hearsay right now,
Hmm.
so you can't really say whether he was involved or not. But we do know, obviously, that the interpreter's gone.
Yes.
Um, I don't know as to how gone he is away out of like Shohei's life. If I was Shohei, I'd be like, you can't even be around me anymore.
Yeah.
Because if they get seen together, forget it.
Hmm.
You know.
And
Um,
MLB is going to, as I mentioned earlier, MLB is going to do what they can to protect Otani. And we already kind of saw that on display. After the second game against the Padres, MLB would not let him talk to the media.
yeah.
So that's the other thing that, again, worries me is if Shohei really does have involvement in this, how far are they willing to go to protect their guy? Because MLB is going to. MLB is going to do everything they can to
I
protect
mean,
Shohei Otani
of
because
course,
he's their biggest moneymaker right now.
of course.
We could talk about the Aaron Judges and the Ronald Acuñas, but the media attention that MLB gives Otani, they're
Yeah.
not going to sacrifice that. They're just not.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm intrigued to see how this press conference goes tomorrow, because how much are you really going to get out of him? MLB is probably in his ear right now telling him, you better watch what you say.
Yeah, he's not going to want to. He can't say anything really.
Yeah.
I mean
He's
that
going to be
the
giving, he's
common
going to be Aaron
response.
Boone. He's going to give the corporate answers
Oh no, the
tomorrow.
common response would be it's under investigation. I can't really say anything about it, and that's it. And
Yeah.
that's the bottom line, and that's all he could say.
And
And
just to
really,
think,
honestly, I mean, he can't really say anything because it is under investigation. I
And
mean,
just to think how much more stressful this is for him, for the fact that not only does he have all this on top of him, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the next 2 or 3 days, he's returning to Anaheim
yeah,
because they
yeah,
are playing the Freeway Series.
they're
I know
playing
it's
the
only
Freeway
spring
Series.
training, but They are playing the Freeway Series right now. It's in Dodger Stadium
What
tonight. I don't know if they switch to Anaheim tomorrow or the
what
day
kind of
after.
response you think he gets?
Oh, he's gonna. Well, it's
Like a
interesting
mixed
because
or
I'm watching the Dodgers game right now, and it's all Dodger fans.
yeah.
It's the Freeway Series. Normally, it's maybe not quite 50-50, but normally you see a lot of red in that crowd. I have a feeling it's going to be all cheers because it's going to be all Dodger fans. I truly think Angels fans have checked out. I really do.
Yeah,
The
I
only
think
Angels fans remaining are those see Mike Trout. But
yeah.
it'll definitely make for an interesting matchup. Again, whether that's tomorrow or the day after, I don't have the schedule on me at the moment. But
Yeah,
so
it's interesting what Moreno's done to that team down there. So
yeah. So we'll have more to talk about post press conference next week on our episode.
yeah,
But I would like to move along with spring training coming to an end. There is again as a recording 2 days left, so things could of course still happen. But
right.
I want to ask you, Vinny, what are some of the things that you look fondly on, whether it's Yankees or if you do have some other MLB topics to talk about? What were some of your positive takeaways from this past spring training as we're already close to wrapping up 2024 spring training?
Just you know, the a lot of at least we know a lot of the I mean, even though the Yankees aren't completely healthy going into, just making sure everybody's healthy.
Yeah,
Um, you know, obviously we know
easier said than done.
O'Neal Cruz is back.
Yeah, watched him today
Ellie's
against the
El-
Yankees.
Ellie's here, that's one again, that's Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, man. I'm looking forward to that first game between those two teams. But
Yes.
um, I just, I didn't watch a lot of spring training this year, but the stuff that I did see, just watching highlights and stuff, it was good. It was good to see the young kids play. A lot of the young kids that, like I believe
Spencer
I
Jones,
know Spencer
Jackson
Jones looked
Holiday,
good,
and
Jackson Holiday.
I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit too. What was your thoughts on the whole spring breakout that we had just about a week ago? Because I loved it. I
Yeah, it was great.
personally think it was great for baseball because
It was great. They did even a special on MLB The Show. They did a spring
yes,
breakout, like a little thing where you could get like a special Dylan Cruz card at the end.
mm-hmm,
And Tamar Johnson, who I don't know, Tamar Johnson and Ellie, and or he's a Cincinnati Red, right?
yes.
Tamar, yeah. Put Tamar at second and Ellie at short. I don't know, man. That's going to be a pretty good combination
See, what
going
was
forward.
smart about how they did this was the timing they picked. And the
Hmm.
reason I say that is because they put it around the second to last week of spring training. You're
Yeah,
only around that time, you're like, all right, I've had enough. I'm ready for opening day.
yeah,
These games are starting to become more of a drag.
right.
That was kind of smart by MLB when they
That was
placed this
smart.
breakout
That
because,
that was pretty cool.
around this time of spring, there's really not a whole lot storyline. It's more or less just guys just getting ready. It added that extra element, and it really did pay off for the fans too, because a lot of these games were scheduled double headers,
Right.
and that definitely really, was a win for the stadiums that were hosting. Now, not every game was a doubleheader, and I do feel bad for some of the Cactus League games because a lot of those actually did get rained out. I don't know how many were looking forward to those games over in Arizona, but some of them
Right.
did get rained out. But in the end, I think that was the best part about spring training is this breakout matchups that we got, and I wish we could get a little more of it. Honestly, all these
Yeah.
teams did it for a
Yeah.
game. I wouldn't
Yep.
mind seeing them turn it into like a 3-game series, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Go all out with it. The spring training. Yeah, you want to see your stars play. Because it's the first time we're getting baseball again since September, October, whatever. But
Yeah.
if you really want to market your minor league system and you want to market your prospects, that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Give them
Yeah. I
a
mean,
3-game set.
it was. I mean, it was nice to see. What is it? A day ago that Ellie and Spencer Steer. Spencer
Hmm.
Steer. Who's I believe he's isn't he playing first now? I
Mhm.
think
Well,
he took over for Votto.
even if you
Um,
look at,
those two guys hit back-to-back jacks.
yes.
It's
But
good to
even
see
if
the
you
young
look
kids.
too, Pirates and Orioles, you had the top two
Yeah,
prospects
yeah,
facing each other in Paul
yeah,
Skeens versus Jackson Holiday. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what a great way to kick off the tournament, not the tournament, the breakout right
The
there.
breakout. Yep,
So
yep. And it
that's my
was
biggest, that's my biggest takeaway from spring
also
training.
the one thing that I kind of wanted to say. I don't know if you had it in mind, but just waiting for all these free agents to sign.
Yeah,
I
still
don't know if
waiting.
that's
Blake
good. I don't
Snell.
know if
We
that.
forgot to
Yeah,
mention that Blake Snell
I
is a
don't know if that's
giant.
good for baseball or bad for baseball. I'm still undecided yet because we still have one guy.
Jo-
We still have
Jordan
Montgomery
Montgomery.
that needs to sign, and I guess the Yankees and Red Sox are linked to him. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
and he's back in
we'll see.
contact with the Yankees. But I also wanted to ask what you thought of the Blake Snell deal because the fact that to me, the fact that
A
the
one
Giants were
year.
actually willing to pay him that kind of money was
It's a one
foolish
year
in my
deal.
eyes.
It's a 1 year deal, man.
I mean, but
Um,
what
it.
are
I
you
mean,
gonna
it.
get
It.
out of
It
that?
says it's a 2 year deal, but he's going to obviously kick in the option
Yeah.
to go at the end of
Hmm.
the thing. But
Yeah.
you know, I I guess San Francisco, after not signing Judge last year, they have a ton of money. So
That is true, but what else does
you
he have
know,
around him? I mean, it's
he
that
had to go
Giants
where
team is
he
not
he
really
pretty
gonna
much
blow your
went where the
mind
money
away.
was, man. He went where the money was, and
Hmm.
we know now what you're going to get out of Blake Snell.
Yes.
I mean, he's obviously gone after the money. If he wanted to sign with a winner, he would have signed with the Dodgers
Hmm.
or the
The
Yankees
Yankees.
or the Orioles
Hmm.
or a team, and he would have taken less money. And
Yes.
he would have done the same deal, less money. He would have had an out at the end.
Hmm.
And since the Yankees would have been perfect because the Yankees were basically, if you look at their team, it looks like technically a 1 year thing, really.
Yeah.
Because I don't, I honestly, the way they're talking, I don't think they're re-signing Soto.
Hmm.
Um, but I think a lot of these, and then there's a lot of guys. I don't know if they're going to keep a lot of these guys either. So we'll
That
see.
is true.
Um, but I don't think Snell's going to really benefit from being in San
I don't
Francisco. But
really
then
think
again, you
either
never
side
know
benefits.
because San Francisco, they always seem to play well when you think they're not. So let's
That is
see how the
true.
season
They're
works
like
out.
the Rays of the National League, only past their prime. It's like the opposite. But I do want to ask about this. Now, we saw today the Yankees play a legendary matchup against the Diablos Rojos del Mexico.
Yeah.
Great game on both sides. I mean, it was a little tough. I have a lot to say about the game itself. I'm a little irritated with the Yankees, but that's
Mhm.
for a whole other thing. But what I want to talk about from this series was we saw a former major leaguer start for Diablos Rojos. That
Two,
was Trevor
two of them.
Bauer. And
Two of
I
them.
don't want to talk about that other guy. He's a traitor
He
in my eyes.
killed us.
Robinson Cano went three
He
for four with a
killed
home run and
us.
a double.
He killed
He was
us
a
today.
triple away from the cycle.
He killed us today.
But
You got to mention him.
I will. I will give him his
Okay.
credit. The
Okay.
steroids are a beautiful thing for him.
Yeah, I understand that, but
I'm petty, but
they don't
I
have
want to talk
rules
about
over
Trevor
there, I guess.
Bauer.
Yep.
And I don't know if you got to watch the game at all today.
I
Um,
didn't watch his outing.
but here were his numbers. He did get into some trouble, but he kept getting himself out of trouble. 3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So I did notice some things were a little different. This is the first time I've obviously gotten to watch him since he's played in the big leagues, and I'm not gonna really get into the whole scandal of everything. But I do think he does deserve a second chance. And you know what? Today really didn't prove a whole lot to me, other than he was able to get himself out of trouble. It definitely feels like the velocity wasn't there like it was a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Um, Something about his delivery seemed a little bit different. When you get a
Right.
chance, I think you should watch the tape and see. Something was just his delivery was a little funky. Maybe that's from playing over in Japan last year. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe you learned something from there. But again, I still do think he does deserve another chance, wherever that may be. It's just a matter of what team is willing to take on the media attention.
Yeah.
That's truly how I look at it. So,
Yeah.
what are you thinking about this whole Trevor Bauer situation? And just overall what you thought about his start from today.
I mean, he did. I like I said, I didn't get to see his start. But like you said, if he if he can help a team in the majors and they're willing to take on that media, I think it'll be fine. I just don't think it's going to be. It won't be with the Yankees.
Hmm.
Um, it probably won't be with the Mets.
Definitely not the
Um,
Dodgers.
and definitely not the Dodgers. So I mean, he's gonna probably have to go on a team. I'd say, maybe I don't know, maybe San Diego takes a chance on him. Maybe,
I was thinking more
um,
like a
maybe a,
Cleveland or a
maybe an Arizona. I don't know, maybe a
Cincinnati,
young team
maybe.
like an Arizona takes a chance on him. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, do you mix him up with a young clubhouse like that? And I
I
don't know,
think
do
he
you mix
would
him up?
because he could bring a lot to the table, even if he doesn't pitch great. He's a guy that has a lot of veteran experience that could always benefit the young guys.
Yeah, I mean, he'll help somebody.
Hmm.
I'm just, I mean, and yeah, I mean, he deserves a second chance because I guess a lot of that stuff that went out there,
He was never convicted of
he was
anything,
never
and
convicted of
that's
anything.
what
So
bothers me is
so
he's not able to play. Yet Domingo Herman got a contract.
yeah,
You
it
know
just didn't.
that's
Well, and just the optic
yeah.
was bad. You know, um, the optic was terrible, and
Hmm.
being and when you're in the public spotlight, again, as I've said many a times before, you have to watch out what you do,
Yes.
and you have to watch out what you say, and you have to
Yes.
watch out what you put on social media,
Yes.
because whatever you put on social media today will come back and bite you in the you know what tomorrow.
Yes. You
So
got that right.
not that I know personally, but
We've seen it.
I've seen it time and time again where guys get beat up for stuff they either said or did, no matter how long ago it was.
Hmm.
So, um, you just got to be careful, man. And you got to be careful on who you hang out with. And
Yeah.
I mean, and guys like, guys like Derek Jeter, he went out all kinds of nights a week.
Hmm.
We know firsthand.
Yeah.
He never got in trouble, never got into a fight, never got arrested,
Never did anything stupid.
never did anything stupid, but he went out at night. He
Hmm.
partied. It so if he could do it, people could do it,
Yes.
right? So it's just you got to be careful, right?
Hmm.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But you know, if he can help another team again, it
Hmm.
won't be the Yankees, it won't be the Mets, it won't be the Dodgers,
It won't be a
but it'll
big
be
market team. We
it'll
know.
it'll be somebody.
Yeah.
Um, maybe even be Seattle. Who knows? Maybe Seattle take a chance on him. I don't know.
We'll have to wait and
Um,
see.
but
So, lastly, we'll got one last topic to hit. Opening day. It's
mhm.
finally here.
Yeah,
Thursday,
yeah, looking
March
forward to it.
28th. All 15 teams will be in action, weather pending. They always say it's everybody's going to play, and then somebody gets paid
Weather pending.
out.
Looking at some of these, I'm looking at
I
day
always look at the
one.
Northeast,
I,
and the Midwest.
yeah, I'm just telling you, day one, you're looking at probably the best pitching
Oh, yes.
matchups you may see all year long.
And every game feels like a playoff game because
With the
everyone,
exception of the Yankee game, because I mean, even though Nestor's going, I would have liked to have seen Garrett Cole there. But
yes. But I
going
want to
back
ask
to
you this.
Houston, that would have been great. But
I want to
anyway,
ask you this. So we have 15 matchups on hand. Now we're not going to go through every single matchup because then we'll be here all day.
all
We
right,
used to do that on radio. We're going to change it up a little bit
I'm
here.
going to change it up.
Give me your top 5 matchups for this weekend
Um,
that you look forward to. So, of course, I think we'll start with the obvious one for us. Yankees Astros, that's our
yep,
team.
yep,
That's our matchup. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go through 5 matchups. We'll bounce back and forth. So I'll go
yeah,
first.
yeah.
We'll start with Yankees Astros. Four
Hmm.
games set. First game is Thursday at 4:10. I think 2 of them are going to be nationally televised. Friday game will be on Apple TV. Saturday will be a Fox Saturday Baseball.
Hmm.
The other 2 will be regionally televised.
Yep.
What do you look for from the Yankees and then from the Astros?
Um, well, from the Yankee side, I want to see what Nestor's got coming back off the injury.
Yes.
I want to see that lineup, and I want to see how they I want to see the lineup. I want to see what the
Yes.
lineup is first of all.
Who's gonna make it? Because we still have 2 more games
Yeah, I want to
tomorrow.
see who's gonna make it.
Who's gonna survive spring training?
On the Astros side, I want to see Framber. Framber had a rough year last year. He wasn't Framber Valdez that we
Mhm,
all knew. He needs to have, and I think what's his name? Buster Olney said it on his podcast that
mhm.
Framber Valdez, the Astros may go the way Framber Valdez goes,
Yes.
because you're gonna get hitting from your Don and uh what's his name, the second baseman, God,
Altuve.
Altuve, Jose Abreu too, man. Jose Abreu was signed there. I thought he was going to do big things there. He didn't really shine as much as
Mhm.
I thought he
Yeah,
was. Guys like that, and we'll see how they do.
how they
And
bounce
then they're
back.
going to have to, yeah, and they're going to have to, probably the first game without, they may have to go this series maybe without Verlander. So I
Yeah.
don't know
I doubt
how
he's
that's
gonna be
going to work
ready.
out. I don't think he's going to be ready. Um, and you can't count on Verlander to being that ace like he was, I don't think.
Mhm. I
Because I
agree.
think as he gets older, I think
Ask the
he's going
Mets
to be a
about that.
back end. Yeah, I think he's going to be more of a second, third guy as opposed to a number one guy.
Mhm. Well, the
Um,
one thing I do like about this series is we're getting, in my opinion, one of the bigger rivalries in baseball right
yeah,
away.
well, you
These
see
2
where we're
teams
at. I mean,
hate
yeah,
each other right now. This is
yeah,
the team that the Yankees have not been able to beat. As much as I hate to admit it, it is true.
yeah,
And the Astros need to prove themselves because they're probably sitting here thinking everybody's counting us out after what happened against the Rangers last year,
yeah,
and they need to prove themselves. And what better way to do it? It is a 4-game set, so it's hard to say if we can really say anybody's going to win the series. We'll have
right,
to wait and see. That's why I'm not a fan of even series, if you know what I mean, like even games. I don't know
right,
what's the best way
right,
to put that. But
right.
what also I'm interested in is what kind of tone can the new Yankees set? And I'm talking about um, Juan Soto, Marcus Stroman, Alex Verdugo.
Yeah,
These guys
yeah.
are coming to a situation where they know the Astros have had the Yankees number. What kind of tone do you think they could set if they went out there and balled out and even helped them possibly win the series? What kind of tone do you think that could set in New York? I mean, that's what
Does it
I'm intrigued by.
does it worry you a little bit that we don't have a number 3 listed in that series yet?
Yeah, a little bit.
Seeing
Well, we
how
do know
the
our number
first
five
it's
will
a
be Luis.
first
Yeah,
series. Well,
yeah,
it's the I'm a little worried only because it's the first series and you don't have your top 3 already.
yeah,
I
yeah. And
mean, and
I
Stroman
know.
went today, right?
Yeah,
So
Stroman pitched today, so
so
he'll probably go
he should be ready by Friday, no?
Friday. If they well, that should be Rodon's spot because Rodon's the number
Rodon's
two.
going. No, I mean, I'm sorry. Stroman should be ready by Saturday because it's
Yes,
Nestor, Rodon, and it
it would
should
have
be
to be Stroman
Stroman
because
there.
remember Stroman's going to be pitching the home opener, which will
But
be that
why?
Friday.
But why have they not announced it yet? That's my.
Well, it's
That's
still only as of today, it's only Sunday. They still have 2 more games to play, one in Mexico, one against the Mets
yeah, but we
on
know
Monday.
Hunter Brown's going for
Hunter Brown
Houston.
pitched today. He looked
Yeah,
solid in his start against
so he's
St.
going
Louis.
for Houston. So
So
I
go
don't know.
ahead.
I mean, I guess you could see. I guess there's a few other undecideds like the Angels don't know, Atlanta doesn't know,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh doesn't know, Toronto
For all we
doesn't
know,
know.
MLB.com might not have
So
updated their
it's
website
I'm
yet
looking at
because they didn't
ESPN.
have Trevor Bauer pitching until
Well, and
this afternoon, and he was announced a
there's no
week ago.
pitchers listed for Cleveland at Oakland, Minnesota. Okay, I get it. I get it. I think
So it might just not be
they're
updated
probably just
too.
seeing how it shakes out for the rest of
But
spring training. But
so now, what is your first game that you are looking forward to for
I
this weekend?
the first game I'm looking at is in our own division. It's Toronto at Tampa Bay.
Ooh, okay.
It's Barrios versus Eflin. Want to see how Tampa Bay plays without having that. They don't have Glass now anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
but haven't you learned the Rays don't need them guys? They
I
can
know
bring
the
up
Rays
more
don't
guys.
need them, but
They'll
yeah, they
hire
just
guys from our
I
jobs,
know.
and they'll end up playing, and they'll be all stars.
I know, but I want to see Tampa Bay, Toronto. I want to see if Toronto can bounce back
I
from
agree.
last year. You know, um,
When are they going to finally live up to their potential? That's
yeah.
the big question.
I mean, they better do something because I believe Bo Bichette's a free agent after this season. I
Yeah, I
believe.
think there's a couple guys that are
Um,
free agents by the
but
end
I
of the year.
I think, obviously Vladdy isn't going to sign with the Yankees. He hates the Yankees, apparently.
I don't want him here anyway, so
He's,
that's fine by
I don't
me.
know. I don't know what we did to his dad, but
I
I
think,
have no idea what happened with him. I know why Ken Griffey Jr. didn't like us, but I have no idea why Vlad Jr. doesn't like us. But um, I just I don't get the correlation as to why he not that he would even have a spot on it. I mean, because he probably would actually. He would take over first base very nicely for Rizzo if he decides to leave. But still,
yeah.
I would I don't know. So anyway, Toronto having they may not be able to keep that team together.
Well, the opening day matchup is interesting. You have Jose Barrios,
La Máquina.
who kind of got screwed over last year in the playoffs,
Yeah,
going up
yeah.
against Zach Eflin, the aging vet, who
The aging vet.
could again. It's an interesting pitching matchup for opening day. This looks like it is a 4-game set, which it is. So another series where may not get a winner out of it. So that's the one downside
Yeah,
to
and we don't
4-game
we
set.
have Eflin for game 1 and Zach Little or Lytle for game 2, and they don't have
You have that
pitcher
for
for
game
game
2
2.
because on MLB.com I have Savale going game 2.
For Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Zach Little.
What
Littell.
are you using?
ESPN.
Oh yeah, no, I use MLB. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
have Littell going Saturday.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yes.
So maybe ESPN's behind a little bit.
Yeah, and then
So
they don't have a matchup for Sunday yet. So
yeah.
that's
So
an interesting series. I'm gonna go with another one that interests me. One, because it's a great matchup, it's a playoff rematch, but also it's now my local market, the Braves and the Phillies. And
yeah.
this is a big series because the Phillies embarrassed the Braves last year. Nobody believed me when I
Yeah, and I
said,
want to see Spencer Strider against that Phillies those Phillies fans too, because they
yes,
were giving
he's
it
going
to him
opening day
at the end of that playoff series, man.
against
I think
Zach
Spencer
Wheeler.
Strider
Yeah, he
was
had a
like,
lot to say.
oh man, it's going to be interesting.
So it's
It's
going
going
to
to
be
be
a
interesting.
ruckus
That's a very good.
atmosphere.
That's going to be a really good series.
It's going to be a ruckus atmosphere. 3:05 first
I'm
pitch
surprised
Thursday.
that's not the ESPN. That's not an ESPN game. I know it's early.
Well,
I would
yeah,
think they would do. You know what
for
ESPN
Sunday
should
night
do?
baseball, it should be.
They should have at least done an afternoon game. I know nobody's home probably on a Thursday afternoon,
Well,
but
it's opening day.
you do one day game, one night game. I thought that's the way it went. So you
I
do
don't know. I
Atlanta,
haven't seen the
Philly, and
national.
Chicago, Texas at night
I haven't seen the
because they're
national
doing
broadcast schedule. I'm
because
going
they're
to see
doing
it
Chicago,
regardless.
Texas. Well, that's going to be my next game of Chicago, Texas, the ESPN game. But
Well, to wrap up that Braves Phillies going to be a huge series because the Braves, they're out for revenge, they're out for blood, they're going
Spencer
into enemy
Strider,
territory again.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Phillies, we know they don't tend to start out very well, so I'm interested to see how they start the season because especially in a huge 3-game set like this because like I said before, Philly's been known to start slow. They started slow last year, started slow the year before. So I'm interested to see how this series will go. And it is a 3-game set, so weather pending, we should get, I say that I haven't looked at the weather. I just know weather on opening weekend is usually atrocious. So that's,
And if you recall my pick last, I think it was last stream. I didn't think Philly was going to be as. I don't know if Philly makes the playoffs this year.
which I think we debated that already,
We
but
did, and I'm going to be watching this game just for. I mean, and again, I won't be watching the first because we know Philadelphia will start out slow.
yeah, and
It
that's the
may
thing.
be it may be if they start out fast that we may worry because then if they start out quick,
They
they
could
may not
finish
end
out
as well.
slow, and
So who
that's the
knows?
tough part is you really want to get a gauge on who these teams are going to be because we know the teams we see this upcoming weekend are not going to be the same teams we see in September.
No,
That's
because you
what's
got the
tough,
trade
but you can't
deadline, you got
lollygag it either.
injuries. Yeah,
But you
exactly.
can't lollygag it either. You can't go and think, "Oh, these games don't
Surprised,
matter," because they
surprised you didn't
matter.
pick. Surprised you didn't pick Detroit, Chicago, man. Come on now.
Yeah,
Schoolball versus
that's our.
Crochet.
We'll call that our tank matchup of the weekend.
Well, there might be more than just the one.
Yeah, but
Um,
we'll let you move along. You said your
well,
next
actually,
matchup,
no, maybe not.
Cubs Rangers.
Cubs Rangers ESPN 735. Justin Steele versus Nathan Evaldi.
Yeah,
The
the
old
defending
wily
champs.
veteran against the young kid. Um, I don't know. I want to see how Texas, you got to remember now they've got some injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
believe
this is banner night.
Seager's not starting. DeGrom is starting on the DL.
Yeah,
Because I think if DeGrom is healthy, I believe DeGrom starts game 1.
which he's
that's
not
what I
ready
would think.
yet.
He's not ready. So
It'll be Nathan Eovaldi on opening night, which again is banner night. So
I am expecting Texas, with all the injuries they have, to start out very slow. And that's
Mhm.
not that's an obvious thing. But
yes, that could be
I
the case with a lot of good teams. That's one thing we got to remind some of
yeah,
you guys. Do
yeah.
not panic
It's
if your team starts
162
out slow.
games,
There's
guys.
a lot of baseball. It's not like 2020. We have a
Yeah.
long
Let's
season.
I mean, and look at,
And the Cubs are a
I
good
mean,
team. Cubs are a
let's
good team.
2022, I think, was it, that the Yankees started out on that pace, and then how did they end? The year that Judge hit the 62. I mean,
Oh goodness.
I gotta bring it up, man. I'm sorry.
Look at the
I gotta
Nationals. The
bring
year
it
they
up.
won the
Yep,
Series, they started
yep.
19 and
They started
31.
1931. So there's
So that just
opposites. There's
shows
opposites. So
there's lots that could happen.
you can't always judge a team by the first half of the season.
I
So
agree. So then, go
but
ahead.
Chicago, Texas for sure. Definitely looking forward to that, to see how Texas kind of deals with. I want to see their lineup.
Yes.
I mean, they're not going to have a few. I mean, Seager being out is going to be huge.
Yes.
So we'll
So
see.
for the last matchup, I'm going to go with an obvious one. It's not really the most exciting of matchups, although unless they play better than play like what we know they can be, the Cardinals and the Dodgers. And this is the game that's getting the big spotlight. It's getting the Sunday night game of the week, which I think is stupid because there's like 5 matchups that are better than this. But
Right.
it's interesting because Dodgers return home. They're 1-1 after splitting in Korea. We're going to see Ohtani make his debut at home. Obviously, he's doing that in spring training right now, but we'll see it for real first time Thursday. It is a 4-game set. 2 of these games are going to be nationally televised. That will be Friday's game on Apple TV, and Sunday it'll be on ESPN. That's Sunday night game of the week.
Sunday night. I'm not looking forward to the pitching matchup though.
I'm really not either. But
Steven Matz and Gavin Stone, not really a barn burner for me.
no, but
it'll
still be interesting.
two lineups. We'll look at the 2 lineups rather than.
It will be interesting to see though how Yamamoto could bounce back. He'll be home in LA, so we'll see if he could bounce back. We'll see how Ohtani fares opening weekend. There's gonna be a lot of attention on Ohtani, especially with everything that's going on right now. So,
could you have gotten any worse of a? By the way, could you have gotten any worse of a draw? Yeah. Boston having to play all the way out in Seattle.
I think the Yankees have a worse draw because they got 4 in Houston, 3 in Arizona. I think the Yankees
I don't know, man.
You're
Boston starting out at the furthest place you can start from, man.
But also the Red Sox didn't do anything to better
we used
themselves.
to call
That's
that
their own fault.
We used to call that place Southern Alaska.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
so with that being said, another great stream. It's good to be back. I would like to make a big announcement.
Yes.
Big announcement. Saturday night, we will have our first live stream of the year. We're going to try to make this a weekly thing. Yankees Astros. You want our reaction? You can get it right here. We'll have it live. 7:15 first pitch. We'll probably go on the air about 7:05. We'll get like a little pregame going, something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be a big stream. It'll be our first of the year. I know we wanted to get some in the spring, but certain things kind of got in the way. But we are back. As I mentioned, our first live stream will be this Saturday. Yankees Astros, 7:15. You won't want to miss it. We're going to have a blast. We're going to try to be as neutral as possible, but we are Yankee fans, so that might be easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, it may be. If you're a Houston fan, I probably would not tune in. I mean, I want everybody to tune
because
in,
you know what? If they beat us, they're going to have some fun with us.
Well, yeah, I want to see people, chatting with us.
Yes. Whether you're a Yankee fan, Astro fan, or if you just want to tune in.
And trust me, please. Astros fans, I will try to keep Sean from mentioning 2017. Okay?
Do you know in Cooperstown? Do you know in Cooperstown
because I've already forgotten about it, so I don't know.
Well, here I'll make you laugh. I'll leave you guys off with a laugh. Go to Twitter, social media, wherever you want to find it. In the National Baseball Hall of Fame, next to the Astros locker, if you've ever been in the Hall of Fame, the first thing you do is you go through every team locker with a bunch of historical stuff.
I have pictures of
Me
all
too.
the lockers.
Yep. Next to the Astros locker, it's the last one in that hall, is a trash can. Tell me that's
Oh,
not
boy.
deliberate. Tell me
That
that's
is
not deliberate.
well, obviously they had to do that on purpose because
I thought it was
they're not.
hysterical.
What other team's gonna have a trash can by there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you guys off with that. Again, you can find that on social media. Again, tune in Saturday, 7 o'clock, Yankees Astros live stream, and then we will have an upload. Our next episode will be next Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Follow us on our socials. I'll get us back going. I know we took a little break. Glad to be back. Gonna get back on top of everything because we have a
It's gonna be
busy couple months coming up. Like I said, we're
it's
gonna
gonna
try to
be
keep
busy.
these live streams going every week. And we'll be just baseball. I'm sure we'll find other
And definitely during
other
the summer we're
sports,
gonna be doing a lot more because I know
especially during
I
football
won't
season.
yeah,
When football comes
I
around.
won't have school, and
Yes.
so it'll be and then the football off season definitely is gonna take a lot of time to
Yes.
to look at. And July training camps are, believe it or not, 4 months away.
Yeah.
So
A lot happening there.
a lot going
But
on.
right
So
now we
as far as
have
baseball
baseball.
goes. Yep.
Enjoy opening day. If you're going to the game, have a blast. I know I'm going to be going to opening day at Yankee Stadium on the 5th, so I'm looking forward to that. So if you are going to opening day, have a blast, show out, represent your teams, whoever that may be. And we will see you next Saturday here. This has been S&V Sports. Have a good night. We'll
Night,
talk to you
everybody.
next week.